Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Jacobson, your go-to board-certified plastic surgeon right here in sunny Beverly Hills. Buckle up because in my practice, I've seen it all. From jaw-dropping transformations to some truly unforgettable procedures. It's been quite the journey and I can't wait to share it with you. Join me on the Beauty Blueprint, where we'll dive into cutting-edge procedures and techniques in the world of cosmetic plastic surgery and explore everything you need to know about the overall health and wellness. But that's not all. I've lined up some exciting guests who will share their insights on various aspects of health and beauty, making every single episode packed with valuable information and fun discussions. So grab your coffee and get ready to join the conversation every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. right here on Go Country 105. You won't want to miss a moment. Good morning, Go Country listeners. We're happy to have you back with us this week. If you're a new listener to Beauty Blueprint, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Joshua Jacobson, your beauty architect, and I'm here with my co-host, Ashley, who's also my patient care coordinator. Well, everyone, please welcome Ashley to the show.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to cover a very, shall I say, spicy topic in cosmetic surgery, and that is surgery abroad.
Well, this is actually a spicy topic indeed. I know it seems very tempting to get plastic surgery in another country, mainly because the prices are so much lower and they offer a lot of other additional care and things. And however, I wouldn't be a responsible doctor if I don't talk to you about the risks involved and also how to choose your surgeon if you want to do that kind of surgery in another country.
So before we get started in our show, tell me, what's your best childhood memory?
So when I was around 4 or 5 years old, I used to go to my grandparents' house, and my grandma every evening would take me to the street, and there was this kid that was our neighbor, and we would play every evening in that nice, beautiful backyard. And I just have such good memories from that time, and every time I want to be in a happy place, I just remember that place.
Oh, that's so sweet.
What about you?
Well, mine's a lot different than yours. Mine is probably, I'm going to say I was a child, but I wasn't much of a child. I got to co-pilot my own plane. It was a small plane with a couple people, and I got to take off and land in Treasure Key Island and go through customs, and I got to take the back off and fly and land the plane in Scotland Key. And no, it wasn't on autopilot.
Wow.
Everyone thinks it was, so it was one of the coolest things. I have it on video, some pictures of me flying it, but it was just one of the best memories of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was really, I really wanted to drive a car. You got to drive a plane?
I did. I don't know
That's
who
crazy.
was stupid enough to let me do it, but I did a pretty good job. So.
That definitely tops my childhood memories.
Ever wish you could redesign your look even just a little? Meet board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson, the architect of beauty. His expertise transforms your vision into reality. Whether you're dreaming of a subtle enhancement or a dramatic change, Dr. Joshua Jacobson can meticulously blueprint your ideal self. Don't wait, contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800.
So let's talk about having surgery in another country.
Yeah.
I know you've seen some of the patients that have had surgery in other countries. You've talked to a lot of them on the phone, and you've heard a lot of things. So I want you to start this show and tell me what you've heard, and also what you want to know, and also what you want our listeners to know about plastic surgery overseas.
Sure. So obviously, plastic surgery overseas is wild right now. It's a hot thing everyone wants to do, and people are no longer even going to Miami anymore. They're going to Turkey. They're going to the DR. They're going to Tijuana, and a lot of people I talk to. They're deciding, hey, am I going to go and have surgery in Beverly Hills, or am I going to go to TJ? And a lot of people want to go over to overseas because it's so much cheaper. However, the things that I like to tell them straight off the bat is, okay, that's great. If you could get a really great surgery overseas for a way less amount, fine, do it. However, think about a couple things, and this is what I say to my patients. I say, what happens when you get home and there's something wrong? Not like you don't like, your boobs are too big or your butt. What happens when you have an infection? What happens with your inflammation? What happens when, an internal stitch is hurting you and you need it out? Or your stitches break and what are you gonna do? Get back on the plane and fly back to Turkey? You're not. And then
No.
who's going to help? Right?
That's true.
What are you going to do when something goes wrong? Or you have a fever? Now our patients, I talk to them on the phone or via text almost every day, and God forbid, at night somebody got a fever. Okay, well, you need to notify me immediately. What are you gonna do? Call the doctor in Tijuana and say, hey, I have a fever? No, you're gonna end up at an urgent care or an emergency center, and that's the first thing I like to bring up. Okay, like I just asked them, just think about it. What are you gonna do? Because not every surgery has a perfect post-op. Not every surgery has a perfect recovery, and if you're back home by then, you're not going to have their help. And
That's true.
And do you have the money to fly back while you're infected, while you're in pain, all the way to that country so they can take care of you and help you? Do you have that time? Do you have that money? And I asked them this, and maybe I'm sounding a little aggressive right now because I'm so heated on it. Because also, what if you don't like it? Are you going to go and now you have to buy the flight, the hotel, get more time off. Then you have to have a whole nother surgery and a whole nother recovery all over again. Is it really worth it? Is it worth it? Or you want to do it once the right way here, have a care team, a patient care coordinator and a doctor by your side 24/7. Think about that. Is it worth it? Just getting a cheap surgery. Are you ready to achieve the body you've always dreamed of? Look no further than board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson. Dr. Joshua Jacobson offers a range of surgical procedures to help you look and feel your best. From breast augmentation to tummy tucks, our skilled team will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan designed to meet your individual needs and goals. Let us help you achieve the confidence and beauty you deserve. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800.
Your points are absolutely valid. We've had actually patients that have told us, well, I got a tummy tuck overseas and then I had a really bad infection. I had to go back. I had to stay there for 3 months. I was miserable and they still left me looking deformed. Now, what I want to also tell our listeners is I'm not necessarily against having surgery overseas. There are plenty of great surgeons overseas. Some of them actually do better work than us here in Beverly Hills.
Right.
And I'm ready to admit that. However, it is hard enough to find a good surgeon here in your home country where you know the system, you know the accreditations, you know everything. Now imagine if you go to another country that you've never been to and you don't know anyone and you want to find a surgeon there. How are you going to be able to tease out who's legitimate and who's not? There have been a lot of clinics in those countries where people say, oh yeah, I got surgery and then 6 months later the clinic was closed because the doctor went to jail or they moved around because they were having a lot of complaints. There are times when you can have surgery overseas and be more comfortable with this. So for example, if let's say you have family in a certain country and they know the system, they know how to research the doctors, and they help you find a good doctor. And if you have any problems, you can go and stay with them. In those cases, then that's totally legitimate. But if you don't know anything about a certain country and you just hear that there's this plastic surgeon that offers things for cheap, then just be careful for falling for scams. Now, another problem with getting plastic surgery overseas is also that the laws are way more strict in California, especially compared to other states and other countries. Then the licensing is a lot harder. The lawyers are always watching and making sure they find enough clients to sue doctors. So we're always hyper vigilant, and you don't have that kind of thing in other countries. So we're less likely to push things to a dangerous level, whereas the other places in other countries, they might say, well, the repercussions aren't that bad, so I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do, but we are always rethinking what we do and whether it's gonna be safe for the patient or not. So safety is always priority for us.
Got it. Are the accreditations and credentials the same for overseas surgeons?
So obviously, every country has their own way of credentialing and accrediting their plastic surgeons. I'm not completely aware of how they do in each country, and that's something that, if let's say you have family in a certain country, you want to ask them and you want to find out how these things work and look into them. But if you don't know these things and you don't have any family members in that country, then I wouldn't recommend going there. Do you have questions you would like answered on the Beauty Blueprint? Call us at 800-734-0040. That's 800-734-0040. And leave a message with your comment or question, and we will answer it on air. Then tune in every Sunday morning at 7:30 to the Beauty Blueprint right here on Go Country 105.
What do you think is a good way for patients to verify the success of a particular overseas surgeon?
I think one of the the minimum that they could do is, if they want to go to a plastic surgeon overseas, they should have multiple friends and family members who have been treated by them, and they've actually had good experiences. Not just, I had one friend went there, they did well. One friend always does well.
Yeah,
you know?
The one friend always does well.
Yes, exactly.
What are some red flags to look out for?
Good question. So one of the red flags is if, you've obviously people usually have friends who've gone to these places, so they might say, I saw my surgeon on the day of surgery, and they just marked me, and then they did the surgery. I didn't see them before. That's a huge red flag. Okay. Just think about how much time we spend with patients before surgery to go over what we're doing and what they want, what they don't want, what are the risks, all of that. And no one can tell you better all of these than your surgeon. Now, one thing that just came to my mind is my mom was telling me a few of her customers, she's a hairstylist, so she deals with a lot of women, and one of her customers had gone overseas to Mexico, got tummy tuck, they came back, and then a few months later, they needed to get a CAT scan. They got a CAT scan, one kidney missing.
Oh my goodness, stop.
And then I verified there are multiple reports of that.
All of our jaws are on the floor here. I know you guys can't see us, but wow. And
I was very surprised
organs go for a lot of money, I heard that, but oh my goodness. Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, and you don't need an extra scar, because your belly is open when you're getting a tummy tuck.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for that one. I'm in shock right now.
I know, and you can't do anything. If that happens to you in the U.S., you can sue
you're
them
set
for
life. Yeah, you're set for life if someone takes your kidney out. And
yeah.
My goodness, that is so scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why it's important to do your research. Just one friend or two friends that went into a place is not good. Now, I'll tell you another example. When I was back in New York, when I was practicing in New York, I used to see a lot of patients who got their surgery in Dominican Republic. And especially there was this certain place, Ziploc Clinic. And a lot of people who got surgery there, they came back with these really nasty fungal infections that was just going, piercing through their skin. And they had to get multiple surgeries to clean out all that infection. Plus, they had to get really strong antibiotics for a whole year to clean out, because it was just this mycobacterial infection that was very indolent. And
they're lucky they didn't go into sepsis.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Now that you mentioned, a few months ago, this article came out that people are getting fungal meningitis from getting surgery overseas. And fungal meningitis is not like regular meningitis where, immediately you feel sick and then you get antibiotics and you get better. Fungal meningitis is serious. Most of them die.
So scary.
Yeah, and that comes, so these fungal infections come from their sterilization techniques. So if they're not doing it properly, which if you're not worried about getting sued, or if you're not worried about all these regulations and losing your license, then you're not as careful about all these things. Right. So that's what happened overseas, and that's very concerning.
Are you ready to achieve the body you've always dreamed of? Look no further than board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson. Dr. Joshua Jacobson offers a range of surgical procedures to help you look and feel your best. From breast augmentation to tummy tucks, our skilled team will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan designed to meet your individual needs and goals. Let us help you achieve the confidence and beauty you deserve. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. I finally remembered what I was going to say that I say to my patients all the time. After I ask them, what are you going to do when something goes wrong? I also remind them, you have to get up in the air and fly home after surgery. Think about what happens when you go up, in the atmosphere with a bag of chips. What does it do? It explodes, right?
Yeah.
So your body's already been through trauma, right?
Yes.
Aggressive trauma. You are supposed to be healing, and instead you're gonna get on a plane and you're gonna get up in the air, and what's gonna happen? You're gonna get so inflamed, your body's gonna fill up with more edema. It scares me to think about this happens to a patient when you're supposed to be, walk. We say get up and walk the night of. Okay, walk. But don't walk through the airport and then get up in a plane. We all, if you do have to fly, we give compression garments for legs. We make sure you wear your compression garments. But however, you're going to be so swollen from that air ride, that plane ride, that air ride up in the air that Can you help me with? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
What does a plane do? What does an airplane do to the body?
So that's a very good question. So a couple of things that happen. Number one, the biggest thing that we worry about after a surgery, obviously infection, but we treat you with antibiotics, so that prevents it. But one thing that's very hard to prevent is a blood clot in your legs, which is called a DVT, which can travel to your lungs, and if it's big enough, it can stop your heart. You can die. It's very serious. Any surgery, especially major surgery, you have a higher risk of that. After a tummy tuck, you have a much higher risk of that. And also getting on the plane increases your risk of getting blood clots, period. Like if you and I have a 12-hour flight right now, about 5 to 10% of the people on the plane will have a blood clot in their legs, which they won't know about it. Most of the time, it doesn't do much. However, if you've had surgery and you have a long flight, that increases your risk. On top of that, the oxygen pressure on the airplane is lower than what it is on the ground, and that also increases your risk of blood clots, in addition to just being still and not moving around. So all of these make your risk of blood clots really high after surgery. Especially the first 4 weeks after surgery, you have a really high risk of getting these clots. So even if you find the best surgeon and you trust him and you want to get your surgery done overseas, make sure you stay 2 to 3 weeks after your surgery, especially if you've had major surgery, at least 3 weeks, because even up to then, you can still have these blood clots.
Ever wish you could redesign your look even just a little? Meet board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson, the architect of beauty. His expertise transforms your vision into reality. Whether you're dreaming of a subtle enhancement or a dramatic change, Dr. Joshua Jacobson can meticulously blueprint your ideal self. Don't wait, contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. And now what happens if complications arise after returning home from abroad?
So that's a good question. Now, there are different kinds of complications. Some are emergency, so patients go to the hospital for those emergencies, like a really bad infection or blood clots, and they get treatment. Now, obviously, those, if they have insurance, hopefully their insurance will cover. Now, but sometimes they're not urgent. So some of them do come to plastic surgeons in the area and they say, can you help me? So obviously we have to charge them. So sometimes they call their surgeon, and it's a responsible surgeon overseas, and they say, come back and we'll treat you. And they do that. And I've seen that happen, which is good. It's good to hear. But one of the concerning things is, a lot of times when these patients show up to the emergency room, a lot of plastic surgeons are hesitant to actually treat them because, one, we don't know what went on there and what's going on. And number two is we're just worried about legal ramifications.
Sure, of course.
Do you have questions you would like answered on the Beauty Blueprint? Call us at 800-734-0040. That's 800-734-0040. And leave a message with your comment or question, and we will answer it on air. Then tune in every Sunday morning at 7:30 to the Beauty Blueprint right here on Go Country 105.
Are there any specific countries that you would recommend for certain types of procedures?
So, for example, Colombia has a lot of good plastic surgeons, especially for body contouring, for tummy tucks, liposuctions, and there are some good surgeons there. So I've had people who've gone there. There've been some reps that I know that have gone there. They've gone good plastic surgery. So there are places, yes. So one of them would be Colombia. There are some good ones in Mexico as well for body contouring. Probably For facial procedures like rhinoplasty, I've heard there are some good surgeons in Turkey, but again, the laws are so lax in those places that it's you have to be careful to find the right person, not just the sham surgeon.
And I know Miami's not in a different country, but Miami's known for their BBLs. Everyone goes to Miami for BBL lately. And Doctor, tell the audience what typically goes down in the OR rooms in Miami right now.
So unfortunately, these cheap surgeries that they offer in Miami, a lot of times they are not done by surgeons. What happens is as soon as the patient goes to sleep, the surgeon just has their assistant start doing the surgery, and then they start another room. So they're running 3 operating rooms at the same time, and the surgeon just goes from one to the other just to make sure people are doing their job. But it's the assistants are doing, or it's someone from overseas coming in from the back door and just doing the surgery who's not even licensed yet. And Florida just has more lax laws when it comes to healthcare and medicine. So that's why they've been able to get away with it.
And that's how they advertise, like, BBL, $5,000.
Yes.
Okay, that's so scary. So scary. But yeah, I wanted just to bring that up a little bit.
But again, there are very good plastic surgeons in Florida. I know some of them. They're my colleagues. I've known them. But they don't offer $5,000 BBLs.
Right, definitely. Are you ready to achieve the body you've always dreamed of? Look no further than board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson. Dr. Joshua Jacobson offers a range of surgical procedures to help you look and feel your best. From breast augmentation to tummy tucks, our skilled team will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan designed to meet your individual needs and goals. Let us help you achieve the confidence and beauty you deserve. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. How does the standards of care and regulations, differ from us to different countries?
So obviously, the U.S. has some of the most stringent standards, and especially California. Some of the other countries don't have them. Obviously, a lot of European countries do have these more stringent ones, but not every country has laws like the U.S. So you have to do your research, and you have to see what countries will protect you and what countries won't.
So after I do my research and I start seeing, I might find a doctor that I really like for some work. What travel considerations should be kept in mind before and after me going to do something abroad?
So that's also a good question. So number one, you want to make sure you're healthy enough for the surgery. So you should see your primary care doctor to do a complete workup before surgery. That's number one. Number two, you need to make sure you're going to be staying there for at least 2 weeks so that you can recover well. And three, you need to ask your surgeon, what should I do to prevent blood clots or other complications? So those are some of the considerations. And number three, you also have to make sure you know the area and you're going to a safe area. For example, if I think it was last year when there were a few people who went to Mexico to get plastic surgery, and they were mistaken so their driver was mistaken as a gang member driver. So these people were abducted, and then
oh my gosh,
I think 2 of them were killed.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary.
Yeah, it's in the news. You can, all of these things that I'm telling you are in the news, and you can read about them. Do you have questions you would like answered on the Beauty Blueprint? Call us at 800-734-0040. That's 800-734-0040, and leave a message with your comment or question, and we will answer it on air. Then tune in every Sunday morning at 7:30 to the Beauty Blueprint right here on Go Country 105.
Well, Go Country 105 listeners, if you're thinking about traveling abroad for surgery, give us a call first and come in for a consultation at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. So we were talking about travel considerations, but what are any additional costs associated with having surgery in a different country that one might not have anticipated?
So yes, one of the things is if they have a complication here and they want to see doctors here, they have to obviously pay extra. The other is sometimes they have drains that they need to stay for a while, and if they want to get them out, sometimes they call plastic surgeons here. You have to pay for the consultation to come in and get your drains removed. Or if there are stitches that are popping out and they need them to be removed. All of these are considerations to have before you get your plastic surgery.
Are you ready to achieve the body you've always dreamed of? Look no further than board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson. Dr. Joshua Jacobson offers a range of surgical procedures to help you look and feel your best. From breast augmentation to tummy tucks, our skilled team will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan designed to meet your individual needs and goals. Let us help you achieve the confidence and beauty you deserve. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. I was just thinking on a more basic level, while people are going to want to go all the way across the country to have surgery for cheap surgery, you're paying for the flights, and most of the time there's it's flights plus hotels plus taxis plus everything else that they need to incorporate all of that into the cheap surgery they're about to get, because that stuff can get really expensive too.
Yes, that's right. And surgery is not like getting Botox or filler where it's just a minor thing. Actually, one time we were operating on someone who had plastic surgery in a foreign country, and she got really bad infection, and so we were treating her, and the anesthesiologist came in the room and said, there are two things that I don't bargain for: my car's brakes and my surgery.
That's great. That's funny.
Yeah,
I like that.
And we've had people who've gone to really great surgeons overseas, and they paid more than these cheap ones, and that's perfectly legitimate. They probably overall end up spending less. I'm fine with that as long as you do your research. I want you to be comfortable and be able to afford your surgery.
Ever wish you could redesign your look even just a little? Meet board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson, the architect of beauty. His expertise transforms your vision into reality. Whether you're dreaming of a subtle enhancement or a dramatic change, Dr. Joshua Jacobson can meticulously blueprint your ideal self. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800.
Well, so actually, talking about all these overseas surgeries, are there any plastic surgeries or procedures that you want to get done overseas?
Well, thank you so much for asking. Of course there is. On my list right now is hair transplant surgery. It's huge in Turkey. Huge. And I know you're probably like, why would you want hair transplant surgery? I don't need it. I've had hair extensions for 15, 20 years. I'm over it. I'd much rather go over there, have them do the hair transplant surgery, make my hair nice, thick, long, and full again, and stop spending $3,000 on hair extensions. But not only that, they also can take the hair follicle and put it into your eyebrow, so I no longer need microblading anymore, and they do your eyelash line, so you don't need fake eyelashes anymore or falsies. Your natural eyelashes grow up to your eyebrows. You actually have to trim them. This is the newest thing. I want it. I have to have it. I'm going to do it once you give me some time off.
Okay, that's fine. So yes, credit is due where it's deserved. Turkey is one of the places that there are a lot of good surgeons for hair transplant, and I've had friends who've gotten it done there, but they did their research. So do your research, and also it's not like getting a tummy tuck or a mommy makeover where you have all these risks associated with it.
Are you ready to achieve the body you've always dreamed of? Look no further than board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson. Dr. Joshua Jacobson offers a range of surgical procedures to help you look and feel your best. From breast augmentation to tummy tucks, our skilled team will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan designed to meet your individual needs and goals. Let us help you achieve the confidence and beauty you deserve. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. Our time has gone by so quickly. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have enjoyed hearing about plastic surgery in other countries.
Well, thank you, Ashley. So, all the listeners, make sure you tune in every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. on Go Country 105 FM to listen and learn everything you need to know about plastic surgery, whether you've had it done or you're considering having a procedure down the road. We have many more exciting topics that we're going to be covering on air in the future. And as always, if you have any questions or if you want to book a consultation, give us a call at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Josh Jacobson MD. See you next time, same place. I'm Dr. Joshua Jacobson, your beauty architect.